Hey everybody, it's Ken McElroy here, and I'm very excited to have my good friend Blair Singer. You guys might know Blair. He is obviously the original Rich Dad Advisor, and he's got multiple books. He's got a big company, a big training company on sales, and he is my guy when I always run into roadblocks on things, and he's my guy when I have issues around sales or growing revenue or whatever. And so Blair, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ken, it's great to be here with you. And the same goes both ways. I get a roadblock and you seem to laugh at it and we just move past it. So it's very mutual.
Well,
Thanks.
I tell you what, we're going to, obviously, your books, Little Voice and Sales Dogs and all the other stuff you've written. But what's been most impressive is that you pivoted pretty well during this pandemic, and you're still training. I just saw the other day, you had like a couple hundred people on the phone, and you like raised capital for all of them, and you raised money for philanthropy. And so why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because every time I go to one of your shows, it's packed, and then you got these people that you don't know how to raise money, and it's like millions of dollars in the room raised like in an afternoon. Like, how does that work?
Well, the way it worked, well, first of all, thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, we had to pivot quite a bit. We had to pivot our business because, as you mentioned, we have a global training company, got trainers all over the world. And when the shutdown came, everything shut down. I mean, our promoters got shut down. The money they were holding that belonged to us got shut down. Everything got shut down. So we had to shift everything to online, obviously, some digital product, some live product. So what you're watching was a live show. And yeah, we had about 170 people, I think, total. And they raised $18,000 in about 10 minutes for a charity. And it was great. And how do we do that? It's real simple. And it's kind of what we're talking about here. I always tell people that the distance between you and where you want to go can take forever or it can take 10 seconds. It's a decision, right? And we've all gone through it, and it's not as far as people think. So my job is to put the challenge in front of them, push them, get them across the line. And then they're going, holy crap, I can't believe we just did that. Then they can continue on with that.
Well, it's been fun to watch over the years. It's been fun to be part of. This actually works perfectly for this, this topic, which is how to turn the shutdown into an opportunity, which is exactly what you did, which is exactly what we did. And I think a lot of people are, they're depressed mentally, the things are not going their way. And so this is a rough time. So what was the biggest challenge for you in 2020 relating to the shutdown?
Okay, well, that's a great question, Ken. And the first, there were two major ones. Oh my God, my business. But then just very soon after that hit my brain, I'm going, oh my God, my team. So I had to make a decision. What am I going to do first? It's because we have this global team of a couple hundred people out there. We all get together. They work together. We share stuff together. And I'm going, okay, team first. So I immediately call everybody together on a weekly basis. Some of them, the more senior guys, twice a week. Get your business together. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? And keep them going. Okay. And so that was the first thing. The second thing was obviously is to pivot the business, which is a much longer process. But what you said is really true. What's really true is, and I say it's a gift. It's not a gift in the moment, but it was a gift at the time. Now is that pandemic, that shutdown forced everybody, including me, to hit the reset button, to sit back and take a look and assess at a couple of things. Your health, mostly your mental health, your financial health, your spiritual health, mental health, all of that. And that's still going on. And I think that the people that aren't committed to that at some level are still going to struggle.
Right. I love the fact that you focused on team first. And I think a lot of people would not do that. So a lot of people focus on the company and you focused on the team. I thought that was really interesting. And I chatted with you before about this. Can you talk a little bit about why? Because I know your book, The Code of Honor. I love that book. Obviously, we did a whole thing on our own company on it. It's a great book for those of you who don't have it. Let's talk about why you started there.
Honestly, the very first reason I started there is because I felt I had that responsibility. I had as a leader, and I brought a lot of these people into our tribe, our network of trainers around the world and coaches around the world on a vision, on something we could do. And I just didn't feel good about abandoning people in the middle of that just because we had a problem. So and I figured long term, the business is a team. Okay. The team is your primary asset. Okay. We always talk about that at Rich Dad Advisors. It's your primary asset. And lo and behold, just to let you know, is that now, like over the last 4 or 5 months, some of the biggest deals we've been doing have not been with promoters. It's been with members of the team. So that early support really paid off. I mean, we did a major program in Japan, a major program in India. Now you can do all that from right here, right? You don't have to go anywhere. And so it really paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know you've always been that guy. And I think that a lot of people focus on the company and not the team. And so I think that was a big piece. So what advice do you have for people dealing with challenges that arose from 2020? What are some of the things that they can do? Because there's a lot of people that are, confused.
Yeah, well, it runs the gamut, Ken. I mean, it's like there are some people that are struggling. There's some people that are really struggling. What was it? 18 million people unemployed right now in America. I mean, that's a problem, And so I think that what people can do right now, first thing, don't quit. Don't allow yourself to quit. I was talking to one of our friends, Radha Gopalan, and he's a heart surgeon and all that. And the cases of the mental health cases right now are skyrocketing through the roof. Suicides are up, all kinds of crazy things. So don't quit. Number one. Number two, surround yourself with people that won't let you quit and that support you. I know the one thing that when this came down, you, Robert, and I flew someplace to get our heads together, do some studying, work on stuff, and it really paid off. So you got to surround yourself with the right people at the right time. See, depression, the first sign of depression is when people isolate themselves. So if anybody's watching this and you have somebody in your team or somebody out there that is kind of disappearing and fading away, go grab them by the collar and get them back in the game somehow. Get them to go do something, go serve something, stay active. That's the one thing. The other thing I think that to do is to study new skills. It's the best time. You know what? Real estate is inflating, right? In some places, I mean, it's a bubble, right? But education, unfortunately, is deflating. So the cost of education now is going down because it's online and people they don't have all the costs. So it's the best time in the world to get yourself educated, new skills, new ideas, new ways to manage that little voice between your ears.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think some great points there, Blair. I for those of you guys might not know, but when the lockdown happened, Blair and I and Robert Kiyosaki chartered a jet because everything's closed. We flew to a ranch in Texas and we literally studied because we were all mentally just like toast, like a lot of us, and we're right. And confused. How do you run a business? How does this all work? And we basically got together and I wouldn't, I don't know if we healed each other, but we came back a little more healed, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And the education was priceless. And one of the things that came out of that is that what we studied is the most powerful thing that you can do. The most powerful thing you can do is become part of a holistic learning unit. I think was the thing, is to be able to study. And so for when the lockdown hit, study. Everybody needs new skills. AI is coming quick. You've got to keep yourself abreast, and you got to keep developing yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to get any better. Those are people that are waiting for it to change or come back. Man, good luck with that.
One of the books I love is the Little Voice book, and you talk a lot about your little voice, and everyone has it. I know I sure have it. So can you please explain to the audience what that is?
Okay, so that's a good question. So what the little voice is that thing in your head that just said, what little voice? I don't have a little voice. That's the one. Okay. So if you don't know what it is, that's it. And, I don't know what yours sounds like, and maybe you have more than one and all those things. But the reason that I wrote that book and the reason that's important is to understand that the little voice, the chatter that goes on in your mind all the time is not necessarily the best version of you or even the real you. It's a composite of your teachers and parents and relatives and friends and media and all that other stuff that goes on in there. And you'll know that that's true because sometimes the little voice gives you really bad information. You make bad decisions and bad moments, emotional moments. And later you're going, what was I thinking? Well, the truth is you weren't thinking. Your little voice took over and you made a stupid harebrained decision, right? So the idea is to get control of your mind back. And if nobody knows what that is anymore, the quarantine, the shutdown, it brought it right to the surface. So understand that that's what the little voice is.
Yeah. Oh, I know I have one. Mine sounds like my mom, by the way.
Mine too, right? Kenny, Kenny.
I know. I always get into trouble. Kenneth. My mom would call me Kenneth. I knew when it was Kenneth, I was in big trouble. So what would your little voice be telling you about the challenges that arose last year and this year?
Yeah, well, one of the common little voices would be, you don't know what to do. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not this enough. You're not all these other things enough. You just fill in the blank. You're not something enough. You're not old enough, not young enough, not pretty enough, whatever, right? So that's a real common one that pops up. Another one that like we said earlier, I can't do it, or I don't know how, or things like that. And so there's ways to combat that really quick. It's normal. It happens to the rest of us. It happens to all of us. But I think that when you start hearing that incessant conversation going on in your brain, the first thing you got to do is just stop. Just be aware. So as of right now, everybody watching this podcast, everybody here, you are on notice. You are now aware that you have a little voice. So no more excuses about, well, yeah. No. You have the ability to stop and say, whoa, stop. And just take a breath for a minute. Think for a second. Meditate if you need to for like 30 seconds. Something in order to regain awareness. Eckhart Tolle talks about awareness, and spiritual leaders all over for hundreds of years have talked about awareness. Stop for a second and observe what's going on for you, and you're going to be 50% of the way to fixing the whole problem.
Right. It's so true. Thank you, Blair. I appreciate that. We're going to roll over to the premium bonus question. So this is for our premium members. And so we're going to head over there. So guys, don't forget, pick up the book, Little Voice Mastery. He's got 21 pieces in there that you can walk through, and it'll just help you disconnect from that and hopefully set you on a little bit different path, during this very, very difficult time. So Blair, as always, I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Ken.
You bet.